The king whispered, "They are sleeping." It makes perfect sense to whisper, even though they're the host of bacteria. Every action needs to consume energy. When there is no order, they hide and rest in the dark. The king raised the flamethrower in his hand. How should I burn them all? Look at the sleeping zombies. Remember what Zhu Kai said. These zombies retain some of their biological properties. I'm serious. They're like a bunch of strains. So they also need time to rest and fall into a deep sleep. To expand the thought, if they can fall into a state of deep sleep and don't wake up, there's no need to wake them up. The ideal thinking movement. But reality is always harsh. Not long after they showed up, a sleeping zombie suddenly opens his eyes. More and more zombies from the ground up. Body contortion follow a bizarre posture to stand still. When they realize there's someone alive in front of them, the raucous roar from their throats echoed. It's like they're frantically attacking. Speak to yourself. It's not that simple. This situation is disturbing. Raise your eyebrows. Do not allow the use of flamethrowers. It's choosing to open the space door to block the entrance. Even though this can kill ordinary zombies. But it's sure to attract the king's attention. Deep in the tunnel. Face the king. There's no doubt that the difficulty will increase significantly. A bunch of zombies keep falling down. But the ladder kept coming in. The door of space. Browsing and people see this scene. His eyes were filled with admiration. About defensive capabilities, the swelling has intensified to the maximum. More than this ability, it can only be broken by a large amount of attacking energy. Other methods are almost impenetrable. Zombies keep pouring in. But suddenly, they stop as if they're getting orders. Order to the extent it makes people feel like that AI just pressed the pause button. Then the zombies are standing outside the door. Towards the translation, and everyone emits malevolent and unpleasant moans. Deep voice translation. The king has discovered us. If so, there's no need to be cautious. Let's burn them. Excess urge, and from fat forward. Point the flamethrower straight at the zombies. In the narrow and long tunnel, the flamethrower will maximize its power. 2 heads fire dragon. Each one is more than 10 meters long. There are 10 zombies in front of you. And immediately the fire raged. Those zombies, after being burned, their bodies immediately deform. It makes a scary tire sound. Fast LAN flame backwards. Not soon, there were hundreds of zombies covered in flames. Then the Kier zombies started to slow down. Stay away from the fire area. In his eyes, his feet filled with careful attention. He said the king was nearby. Chase, chase. He recovered the door to space and lead Theo people deep inside. The road ahead was covered in zombies. Hoa Hoa and salary approvals do not even have a chance to act. However, pay approvers sometimes anxiously look behind. She reminded Zhang Yi, the giant rat's Kier, still watching us from behind. Current campaigns don't need to worry about them. We need to find the king's location quickly. And destroy it too. Extinguish the risk from the root. Salary expressed concern. But the pace of our progress is still too slow. The number of zombies in the hallway is really overwhelming. Look at the end of the tunnel. It's all cramped. because people's heads are evaporating. At this speed, I don't know how long to keep burning. When we're trapped in this place we're talking about, the king also fled to maintain the door of space without losing any energy. Doesn't even need to use heterosexual food to supplement. Gradually, they found the zombies began to flee faster. It seems like the king realized he could not defeat the invaders. Should start withdrawing troops. Zhang told his team. The number of zombies decreased. We can speed up the walk a little bit. In another corner of the tunnel, the tiger with a group of elite soldiers come here to investigate the situation. Not long after they arrived, they've encountered a rat infestation. Crazy rats from all directions surrounded them, red eyes like fire rushing towards them. These rats are monsters. Be careful not to bite them. They can bite through our protective clothing. The tiger did not dare to hesitate. Unleash all your power. The power of the tiger is to inflame rights. His fists could unleash intense flames. And this high-temperature fire, it's possible to turn rats into ash in the blink of an eye. After about 10 minutes of fighting, they fought back the rats. Tiger with a dark face. After a moment of silence, keep going. Our goal is to find the zombies and collect 10 pieces of intelligence from them. In front of you, no matter what difficulties you face, we also have to get through. Now, even if he comes back, he also doesn't want to face the Red Cross. Yang and his investigation unit is in the subway tunnel Vindu line. They've just experienced a rat attack. It's not bad for soldiers. And keep moving forward hard. They finally discovered a group of zombies sleeping in the subway. Like zombies smell the living. Suddenly open your eyes and get up from sleep. Even subway bullets, from start to finish, it seems to be packed. Zombie. There may be tens of thousands or even tens of thousands. This evokes the feeling that all the dead in Tianhai City, they all seem to have been captured, pulled to the subway, and turned into these horrible zombies. The tiger was suddenly tense. Retreat quickly. He thought this number was basically unstoppable. The tiger shouted, "Order! Run now, don't turn around." The tiger threw a powerful punch. The fire burned the zombies in front of him. Like behind their backs, a large number of zombies pushing the zombies in front of Ra, and rushed to madness. With the power of weapons, they fought back and slowed down the attack momentum of the zombie group. The clock says loud. We can only retreat first. Scale this time, compared to previous Kier attacks, many times larger. We can't fight. Fellow Tiger and his team felt their scalp numb. The number of zombies in front of you, far beyond their imagination. Even though they're psychologically prepared, but when you actually face it, you still feel dizzy. Fast back to the back. We use ammunition to stop them. For a while. Run towards the nearest subway door fast. Fast. But at the moment, a soldier using a flamethrower suddenly opened his eyes wide. He pointed to the great darkness that appeared in front of him. What is this? It's not just him. All members of the investigation team. You can also see the giant behind the firewall. It's walking through the flames, and there's a giant head. 3 times as big as the average person. The soldiers who stood first in the blink of an eye were torn apart. Even the tigers and some soldiers. I also felt deep despair when I saw it. It's really in danger this time. Chasing a group of zombies with his team. We're going up along the tunnel where it's full of flames. They're wearing fire-resistant clothing. It's not affected by the fire or the ashes of zombies. Meanwhile, the zombies are also retreating behind, and their numbers are diminishing. As Zhang Yi and his team advance through the tunnel, they're suddenly in a large area. They went to a GA feeder. The translation now, new understanding. Why is the speed of zombie disintegration so fast? This is a GA feeder, where zombies can quickly move to other corridors. From Fat looking around in vain said, "This is annoying. With the existence of the GA feeder house, we can't pinpoint it. The position of the king. So where do we go now?" Zhang Yi replied, "But I have a hunch." His eyes widened to four sides. "It's not far from us anymore." As soon as his words are still flying, the sound of heavy footsteps began to come from the tunnel. The sound of footsteps sounds like stepping on a corpse, heavy and slowly towards them. Echoing sound in the murky tunnel. It seems to come from all directions. It's impossible for people to guess correctly. What's getting closer? And how much is the specific amount? The translation uttered, "Be careful, there's something big coming." In the depths of the subway tunnel, suddenly, there was a deep and overcast noise. From the four sides, a large shadow gradually appeared. Expression of its translation chapter and group. Be serious. Here sound seems to carry a terrifying monster. Get out of your prison. In the dark, you can see a tall, lean body. It's like a giant creature, slowly moving towards them. The translation becomes serious. He lowered his voice, wondering, "Is this the king?" The king. These two words put a lot of pressure on people. He could see his face and his pupils. I am unaware of the rest. It's not the shape of a human. It's a creature with a human form. Body covered in ancient copper-colored hard leather. In the murky darkness, its height must be at least 3 meters, with 2 long arms down to the ground. The body has no fat. It's all ugly, murky red muscle, surrounded by hard copper skin. The salary is also here. Trong Yi's group is not all surprised. 3 similar monsters appear from 3 different directions. In a panic, he immediately realized that there's got to be a big conspiracy behind this. These things aren't meant to be mass-produced. It's impossible for them to appear naturally. He is more confident in his heart. The appearance of zombies. It's definitely not random. There must be some intentional element. The king asked. Translation program, what do we do now? The cold answer. Now the only way is to fight. It's in a large area. Female subject skills. The results of the operation could not be maximized. Save your way. Get ready to fight. Careful campaign tells the salary survey, Hoa Hoa. You two stay close to me, not too far away. Salary approval nod. Understand that the epidemic needs protection when fighting. Flowers need not say more. Always along with the program. Trong translated further. We have few people now. We need to keep the spirit of unity. The enemy must capture the king first. Zhang Yi told everyone. They need to deal with these 4 special zombies. Other zombies can be easily dealt with. Clearly, everyone replied. The zombies are starting to act. 4 special zombies. Kier emits a scary roar. That made the underground hallway shake as well. The zombies in the back also started to move. Emit a loud roar. The zombies suddenly rushed towards Zhang Yi's group with a strong determination. They don't have wisdom. Only under the orders of the king. They're large numbers, along with big monsters running at the feet of zombies. It makes people worry. The fat words on the face are tense. They are in a hurry. But their hands, still spewing out intense flames from flamethrowers, burn those big zombies and monsters. But now, the zombies are no longer backing down. That plunges into the flames like a suicide attacker. Even if they die, they want to die on the road. Dive into the chapter and his team. This is the king's order. In the dark, the sword in my hand is like the moon. Dance no less fast. Since absorbing the rabid dog's aptitude, your power has increased significantly. The blade emits a blue light. It creates a cold airflow that's over 3 meters long. Cut the zombies to pieces. One of the zombies wearing armor. Open up its giant hand. She took another zombie next to her, like throwing a brick, thrown towards the epidemic and his teammates. Other armored zombies also learned Theo, constantly throwing zombies towards the translation chapter from the air. This kind of attack from the middle stitch, it makes people find it hard to handle. Keep the fluid calm. Open up the space door above your head. Cause all the zombies to fall into the hyperspace. No harm to AI. See this. 4 iron-armored zombies are a little surprised. But very quickly, they started coming out of the zombies. Straight for the epidemic and his group. From fat scared to pale face meter. He's helpless on the ground and can't use his powers. There's only one way to rely on the flamethrower in your hand to maintain the ability to fight. From fat angry, spray fire with maximum power towards the iron-armored zombies. It's like a terrifying sight to happen. Parachute flamethrower, strong high-temperature emitting. When spraying hit the armored zombies, it doesn't hurt them. It didn't even leave a trace on their copper skin. Iron-armored zombies covered in flames, as if continuing to act. It can't help but extend the giant's hand. She took some other zombies and threw them towards the fat word. At this point, the armor is very close. Make the word fat scared. His hand was also delayed. As the armor approaches, widen the arm, and finally use his defensive techniques. The weight of the subject. These 2 giant space doors. Stop the zombies from both directions. Stop them from attacking them. However, this also makes the space door of the translation chapter. They can't deal with attacks. Other public. In this large place, there are many zombies, and the 2 heads of armor are different from other directions. The king exasperated. Fucking. There must be a king in command from behind. Unfortunately, now we can't kill these zombies. How can we kill the king? Right now. Zhang Yi's calm voice cracked. Don't panic. More in times like this, the more you have to stay calm and watch carefully. We will find the king. It's nearby. We can feel it. Even though the current situation is dangerous, the translation understands that if only they could handle the king, all other problems will be easily solved. Most zombies are attacking. He was stopped by a woman. The rest will be handled by some of your staff. Excessive urge to activate your abilities turned into a man taller than 2 meters. Plunge straight into an armored zombie. Cause a strong VA touch. Iron-armored zombies are bigger than a king. After 2 VA touched, they are temporarily difficult to determine victory or defeat. It's like 2 heavy wrestlers are competing power. It's easy to see that, even though the armor has superior strength and form. But his fighting skills are a little clumsy. They can only do simple movements. Compared to the end view, he's been in the military and training for years. The view uncle's fighting skills go beyond. Meanwhile, the rest of the exam was stopped by the salary, with a knife in his hand. The bar of the salary, emitting a bright yellow light, twinkling in the air. Before the contour can react, his chest has appeared a scar. The zombie's copper armor appeared a deep handprint, and immediately flows out the red liquid, the lilac. Take 2 steps back. While the pay review is 5 steps back, both of them looked surprised. I can't believe that even if I use all my strength in a fight, you still can't cut these zombies. That just tore the flesh off its surface. It seems a little apprehensive, in front of the cold eyes, but still rushed without faltering. Its 2 big hands open, with long claws like sharp blades, emitting a cold light. Save browsing uttered, this monster is really hard to deal with. In an important moment, speak to Hoa 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 Hoa. Help from the Lord. He also did not forget to investigate the flower. Don't bite zombies with your mouth to avoid poisoning. Look that way. His right eye glowed in a white ring of light, condenses and eventually becomes sharp. Keep your salary out of the way. The salary seems to sense something. Suddenly jumped backwards, creating space for Trong Dui. Zhang Yi shouted to God. Right in front of him, the space is suddenly deformed. Suddenly, a vast area of space exploding like popcorn, and splattered every piece of blood. Even a fellow armor with a formidable defense. The upper half of his body was smashed. Only 2 feet left on the ground. This is the most powerful attack skill, the present of Zhang Yi. God Ui. After Zhang Yi used the divine power, at least 4 champagne magnets, including the armor that was defeated with just 1 blow. From fat flamethrowers to zombies. Then burst out laughing. Ha ha. Ha ha ha, these are your toys. Let's see how Lao Tzu burned you to death. He took the flamethrower and started to move forward. Proudly shoot out the fire and continue the temperature grill. This is the first time to witness the divine power of Zhang Yi from such a close distance. I've used this ability before, on the battlefield, but only to assassinate a mutant of the enemy power. She has not been able to recover her soul when I saw Trong Yi using the divine power. You look at him staring. Your real power now is terrorism. The whole Tian Hai city, I don't think there are any mutants. I can withstand a blow from you, without preparing in advance. Trong Yi just gently laughed. It's just a basic operation for us. However, then he carefully looked around and continued. It's too early to let go. I think that our real enemy is probably very close. We are waiting for his arrival. These armored fellows, they're smarter and more powerful than regular zombies. But certainly not the king. If we don't find it today, see the king, the campaign this time, it can't be considered completely successful. Because of killing more zombies. Even the powerful armor It can't be stopped either. The king created more wrong hands. The translation just ended. It is not blocked from two directions. The zombies started to gather. From deep in the tunnel, the familiar heavy footsteps echoed. 3 lines appear from 2 different directions. They're standing there, with cold eyes. He stared at the group. They're shaped like giant bamboo beetles. Twisted and evil that scares people. Cosmetic cold sweat expansion. Why are there so many monsters? In the end, how many? Power. The power of the wind consumes a lot of energy, and it has tremendous power. But with his current energy, can be used continuously 5 times. However, after each use, it takes a certain amount of time to recover. If there's a lot of armor, continue to launch the attack with their current fighting strength, because fighting back will be extremely difficult. From fat afraid, so much so that my feet almost toppled over. He's done talking. Now he has to do something. Do we have to die here? From fat screaming in fear. But zombies don't give them time to think. After just 1 moment, 3 armor along with a large horde of zombies continue to rush. Zhang's eyes also became heavier. He sighed softly to himself. It turns out the danger from zombies this time, more serious than we imagine. And the entity behind it is even more terrifying. Even we are difficult. It could easily end this war. He sees everyone's about to get a zombie wave. It's worse than the siege. Right then, Trong Yi calls big with great view, and Hoa Hoa. Hurry back. My husband has been burned, and the combined grand view smashed into small pieces. After they're destroyed, the Kai doesn't move. It's different from other zombies. Please note this. It seems like homothyroidism is a real organism. It's not the VI type that's out of control. A round person, a cat heard Zhang Yi's call and quickly get back to him. Right now, Zhang Yi recovered her female martial arts skills. From the 4 or 8 directions of the hallway, zombies from all directions continue to rush towards them, with the sound of anger. Then he opens a door in front of him and tell people, "Follow me." After saying it, Jen was the first to enter the door. Everyone's a little surprised, but very quickly they followed, after Zhang Yi entered the door of space. When the zombies rush in, they slip into the air. They don't understand why the target is going to attack. Suddenly disappeared without a trace. Deep part of the tunnel, their angry roar echoed. It makes people feel scared. After just a moment, 10 meters away in the tunnel, Zhang Yi's group suddenly appeared from the underground up on the snow of the tunnel. Subway. Tapping my chest with a pat. The face is not afraid. It's terrible. It's really deadly. He breathed in a breath of cold air to regain his spirits. Even if you know you are not in great danger. But the last scene, it's like watching a horror movie. Buddy still scares him. If it's not him, it's someone else. The results will definitely be bad. The salary. Check with some others. Out from the door of space. They see the outside. At first, they were surprised, and then they understood something. Brows curiously ask. This is the new power of the SAO. The doctor replied calmly. It's not really a new capability. I just understood a little bit more. It's about how to use the space door. Before Kier, the program uses the space door quite simply. We can only open one door. But now his power has become stronger. He can finally open the second door. Because these two doors connect the same space. Think of a new use. It's turning two doors into a tunnel to travel through space. To date, he was able to complete his journey through space within VI 300 meters. It's for this reason. This time he took the risk into the subway tunnel, a place full of uncertainty. From fat afraid, so much so that now I'm sitting on the ground and panting. If you have this kind of power, why didn't you say so early? You know, I was almost scared to death. Laughing in a funny way. I just wanted to give you a little surprise. That's it. The campaign has been so far. Always hide your abilities. Even with my teammates. This is not due to their suspicion. It's because he's always careful. Avoid revealing any information about yourself. This caution is his rule of survival. Expression on the face. He started to get more serious. However, from the beginning, I don't think either this kind of power actually works. Flare times this zombie risk. It's actually much more complicated and scary compared to what we imagine. We still don't know. This crisis, what shape will it eventually develop into? When this word is spoken, everyone at the scene was silent. If it wasn't for Zhang Yi possessing new abilities, just look at the scene. Even though they're 3 times more numerous, 5 or even 10 times, they could have lost their lives right there. Because based on the situation at hand, the number of zombies exceeded their imagination. The voice of the Great View echoed. So what do we do now? If not once, and forever solve these zombies, then next day, they will definitely face attack. Non-stop from them. There's even some kind of armor. But when you see, they all have to be afraid. The movement also became quiet. He looked up at the distant sky. Everywhere is covered in snow and ice, even though it's cold. But it doesn't bring a sense of hopelessness or dangers to people. Take out a pack of cigarettes from my own psychic space. Light a cigarette and put it in your mouth. He took a deep breath. People around him don't bother him. Know that the epidemic is very tense. After a while, Zhang Yi said slowly, "We have to solve this problem anyway. And must be quick. We can't give these zombies a chance to evolve. They make us feel scared." He asked with a suspicious face, "Your heart is not optimistic. Do you have a solution?" After a thought, Zhang Yi regained his spirit and gave a cigarette show from fat. From fat to non-smoking and non-killing. It's just him and the view. Everyone smoked a cigarette there. Zhang Yi told everyone, if our goal is to deal with these zombies, it's not as difficult as we think. The epidemic is no longer hidden. Don't wait for people to ask Han. He shared his ideas. Now we have a plan. The rail area here is not that complicated. There's only one secondary route through here. And these zombies are often sleeping in tunnels. So we can see that. Although the virus is very sensitive to the cold, but they can't survive outdoors. It's so cold. So when zombies hibernate, it can be deduced that they're all hiding in the tunnel. We don't have enough dynamite to completely destroy the secondary railroad. But there's one thing. It's probably more useful than dynamite right now. People look at the translation, hurry up and ask what it is. Take a deep breath. Gaze to the far southeast. That's the ocean. The freshwater river has completely frozen. They can't provide enough water. Like seawater, with high salt content, in areas of the deep sea that haven't completely frozen. The movement needs to go to the deep sea. To use the spatial aptitude, I have to draw out a large amount of seawater. Then he'll fill the entire subway tunnel. When I heard Zhang Yi say that, everyone's eyes immediately lit up. Save the party clap, a clap uttered. Great, this is really ingenious. Salary, sit down and continue. The gesture tunnel is a one-way street. We just need to lock down the subway station. It's going to turn into a canyon that's blocked at both ends. Your space ability. It can hold a lot of seawater. It could fill the entire tunnel. With that depth of the underground tunnel, there's mice and zombies inside. It will be submerged by water. At least this could solve most of the problems. If the king is really alive, I'm afraid it will also have to be in a semi-living state. Sold dead. In the worst case, they can't keep hiding in the tunnel. Salary explained. That makes the big brain and the word fat also get excited. It's like finding a life-saving blade of grass. In a desperate situation, help them deal with the current risk. From Fat Cow up from the ground, excitedly said, "Is he still the old man? Your power is too strong. Right now, become the best weapon against zombies." The king spoke with admiration. I feel the smartest is still Zhang Yi. Although each of us has the skills. Like Zhang Yi is the one who exerts its effects most powerfully. The flower next to him shouted to show his agreement. The epidemic just laughed. This plan is just our initial idea. But it takes a lot of preparation. There's also an important issue. We need to go back and discuss with professional technical staff. Take out the snowmobile from the hyperspace. Let's go. Implement this plan as soon as possible. We've got to speed up. We can't let the zombies continue to grow.